Hey, how are you guys? Hey, Aleksandar.
Hello, hello. Nice to
How?
see you.
Yeah, me too. How are you?
Doing well. Thursday, it's right here. I'm
Yes.
excited for this playbook and for the week. It's been a lot of
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. So, hi everyone. We are here today with Alexander to talk about a use case that is, I think, ideal and perfect for solopreneurs, but it could be also for anyone who has prospecting challenges. To be honest, as Alex is a solopreneur, I think it's more embodied to like really focus on this challenge for the solopreneurs and any CEO who launch his own company, right?
Mhm.
And so glad to have you here, guys. You have a little chat button on the sidebar. I will say hey. So don't hesitate to ask any question during the live session. Also to share with us what you already tried, what you don't didn't try, what is your pain, what are your challenges, etc. See this hour with Alexander like a free consulting session. So yeah, you really have to see this opportunity like this. And Alex, I will let you introduce yourself first.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, for this hour, we're going to dive in very practical outreach and high touch outreach methodologies that I've used. But my name is Alexander, and I'm founder, CMO of Amused agency. We're pretty much like marketing sales funnel agency that we create funnels for other solopreneurs like coaches, and I worked with different B2B brands as well, even in the IT space and cybersecurity startups. But really, solopreneurs and podcasters, coaches, authors, course sellers, those are like my ideal clients for the last years. And we really do connect like outbound with inbound. It's funny that I use outbound for selling inbound most of the time, but it's definitely working if you are going after like people who are with a big audience. In my case, I'm gonna show you some practical examples later, but for me, my ideal client is really someone who is already making it on social media, but they don't have like the conversion engine on the back end, and we're just helping them create more products and connect their audience and influence online to a product that sells. And really, a lot of that is through email conversion systems, flows, and crafting, positioning products, and packaging media products in an essence.
Mm.
We know all these like 997 courses, but it could be more than that.
Okay. If in the audience you do have the same challenges, don't hesitate to explain a little bit if you are an agency working for CEOs, solopreneurs, creators, consultants, etc., or if you are um, also like just say what is your use case and I know that Alex you have a playbook or a great playbook, right?
Yes.
So we will just like present you the step-by-step guide, the playbook, and yeah, questions are more than welcome. Let's go.
All right. So I'm about to share and dive right into the playbook. So we can maybe talk about the flows directly in AOGM later. But yeah, this is where it is. If anybody wants the link, I can drop you a link in the chat. Maybe that's going to be something I can do right now.
Yeah.
Cool.
I can do it if you.
Yeah, I think this should work, but yeah,
Yeah,
please double check.
perfect. Yeah.
Cool. So without further ado, this is the LGM Solopreneur Outbound Playbook. And what I love about LGM across all the outreach tools there are, and I've tested all of them mostly, is that LGM is for power users. And if you're here with us today, you're pretty much advanced. So We're also going to cover the basics. This is not excluding beginners, but multi-channel is where it starts, right? So we're going to talk about different ways to do outreach between and across channels. Specifically, for my case, this will be mainly between LinkedIn and email, but it could be Twitter as well. In some cases, you can give people a call if you're into those things. That's going to be a little bit out of scope. But in this project, I want to showcase a case study that um, Link didn't work, really. Um, cool. I'm just going to continue. And I think, Yellow, you have the link. But the deal that I closed was a $3,000 retainer that I retained the client for at least 4 months. That you can do the math. It's $12,000 in value in customer lifetime value, and it started with first step. So this is going to be a very back to the drawing board exercise that I use visual charts for those things. So I keep a record of my ideal client persona, and this is always iterating, as you know, in 2025, and all these market shifts. Customer personas are changing, tools are changing, the market is having like different offers, different competitors emerge. So you have to adapt and make sure that there's nuanced things around how you connect this offer that you have right now with whatever clients are buying. And I usually do a breakdown of what people are having and not having. So think of it like this: your best clients, who are they, and who are their, like a profile of people who have like not just like the demographics, where they work and how much they earn, or gender and education, but for me, like very simple thing to give an example is that maybe they have a newsletter but they don't have a lead magnet. So they have an audience on LinkedIn, like at least 10,000 people audience, but they don't have enough products, and maybe they're selling only one-on-one coaching. So I'm adding this to the bit. So that's how I'm labeling people, and this is the pretty much the top of the persona. So you need some context. Demographics help. They answer the question, uh, who is buying, and psychographics are answering the question why they're buying. And those are the fears, the beliefs, or the false beliefs that they might be having about how you're helping, and what is the roadblock and type of limitations that they experience between where they are right now and where they want to go, and the outcome they seek, the transformation. So you're always selling a transformation, like a positive, and this positive could be reframed as in a mechanism, a method, a way for them to overcome a pain in a painful problem. So in my case, they've been struggling to do outreach, or they've been struggling to post on LinkedIn, to do ads, to have like all these other ways, instead of just having, let's say, one funnel that it's working with a lead magnet, or it could be with a podcast, or stemming from their YouTube, from their Instagram. Doesn't really matter. If they have an audience on a specific platform, I can help them pretty much drive emails by capturing those emails with a free resource. And yeah, so once you have um, an ideal client persona, this is sort of like the process that I use. There's also like an empty map that matches your ISP problems, um, and finding a urgent problem. Like they could be experiencing a lot of problems, but one of them should be something that keeps them up at night at 2 a.m. This is like a useful framework and exercise. If anyone is having like a question about this, let me know. But step two is pretty much the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge is how you can find a lot of those people. Because what I do with LGM is not just like spray and pray, but it's a very targeted campaign, multi-channel across LinkedIn and email, to let's say 100 people, maximum 200 people at a time, I would say. I've tested even 1,000 people list, but this doesn't really work. So you're using like your LinkedIn profile. It's mainly connected as a personal brand, and also a cold email architecture, like some domain that it also it's helpful to have like a 301 redirect to your main site, um, for people that are following the breadcrumbs from the email side of things. So they need to check you. I'll circle back to this later. So you can see I always start with LinkedIn, and I find people on LinkedIn. Yes, so this is the sales navigator that I'm showing you how to do prospecting. So this usually, if you haven't used Sales Navigator, you have like a free trial to test it. Otherwise, it's like $100 per month. But it definitely is helpful for using Boolean search and or I'll give you examples in the beginning, a little bit further down. But I'm looking for, let's say, clients in the United States that have like similar description of this persona that I have described in the first step. So the second step is just finding those people. Now that you have the persona on paper, you want to go on Sales Navigator and just type in the search. And there's like different ways to do it. In my case, I can afford to search for leads. Leads is not like a very accurate way if you're into CEOs and companies. It's a little bit more work if you want to find first companies and then convert them into leads. This is a long exercise, honestly. But if I have to simplify it, for me, coaches work because if I say helping, coaching CEOs or leadership transformation, people are usually popping right in, and I can filter through, let's say, years of experience in this current position. Um, if they're pretty much like in this industry of personal coaching or business consulting, those are my type of things. And in the search bar, I'm also, let's say, using Boolean searches. So my buying triggers are also people who missed a revenue month, have a upcoming product launch, and let's say they have lost a client, they're hiring. Those are good signals. And also for companies, for people who might be, let's say, your target audience, uh, on a account side of things, if you're doing account searches on Sales Navigator, let's say people who are expanding their team, maybe they're hiring for a certain position, could be a signal for you that it's really strong.
Yeah, about ABM, which is the account-based marketing, the what you are explaining, like searching in accounts first and then move to leads. We absolutely agree. It's super. It's better to segment like this, more precise, more accurate. Also, we do have a feature in La Growth Machine name called database, LGM database. This is the same database as Sales Navigator. We have this integration, and so we can filter like we do in Sales Navigator, maybe without with less filters, but it's always in this step by step, like first accounts and then leads. Um, Another thing you can do is when you have your ICP or persona precisely identified, you can use the lookalike, which is great also because you can just type, for example, the company of your ideal client, and then the lookalike proposes similar companies, and then leads.
Right. And the way that this works, I don't have it here in the playbook, but I usually save, let's say, a list. In Sales Navigator, you can have lists. So you can have lists from the accounts, and then you have lists in leads. And usually you have to create a list for accounts, add a certain number of companies, let's say 50 or 100, and then you go migrate the key decision makers of the accounts that
Yeah,
are pretty much describing your persona here in the first step,
yeah.
and then save them into your lead list, and then you can have the emails extracted with a number of tools. LGM also does this for you automatically. um, but yeah, I've tried also fun emails. It's also nice, but those list building features are also nice, and the LGM builder ambient search is really cool. So Boolean searches, as I was hinting earlier, is something that really helps when you want to isolate also potential client personas that are not in your ICP profile. For example, I'm looking for coaches and keynote speakers and authors, but I don't want, let's say, sometimes I exclude HR people, headhunters, and those type of people who I don't want to have in my search results. So you can just say not, and it's just going to exclude the next. So the keyword is always in brackets in this way. Sometimes I use also on the lead sides people who have posted in the last 30 days. This is only available on the list side of things, as in a strong buying signal. So this means they're active on LinkedIn. Sometimes this is accurate. There's different options to think about this. But what I love about AGM is that once I have identified those people, and now there's a little bit of work to do before I download a CSV and upload them to LGM. When I'm doing this high touch outreach, as I shared in the beginning, I'm looking for people who have a certain number of indicators. So if they have, let's say, 10,000 people following, and I can do this type of, for me, this is like a lot of work. I can automate part of this. I've tried Phantom Buster, I've tried Clay. You can have like different tools to isolate and give you properties. So this is like exactly looking like columns on a spreadsheet. So let's say you have a first name of the contact, then you have the email, you have like a little bit about them. Maybe those things are unnecessary, like country and description. But then I have like custom property that it's exactly like, hey, maybe they're using a lead magnet that it's not working, and I'm just exactly pulling the name of their current lead magnet in the list, or their newsletter, or the name of the book, or the name of the, let's say, podcast. So the leadership show, or a book title could be 15 Principles of Executive Leadership. And this is like something that I'm plugging into, let's say, column DCE, and now I'm having those exact text as variables inside of my LGM copy. I'll get into this so you'll see where this connects into messaging in a minute. But step number 4, if you want to use LGM's data enrichment and verification, this usually starts after you launch the campaign. For me, it took me a while to figure out, but this is like the way that it's done properly without flagging LinkedIn, and it's a very safe instrument to use.
Now we can also enrich before the launch of the
Oh,
campaign. Yeah, so that's
nice,
pretty new. But from since September, you can also pre-enrich.
pretty good.
So yeah, if you go on the little GIF like video, you will have the demo. And we have also the verifier, email verifier inside the Lagos machine. Um, yeah, the little video is in the. You can also do this with LGM lead enrichment. Yeah, maybe maybe this is another. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. So this is how I do this usually, but it definitely works if you have like the database in LGM as well. For me, I tried mainly with Find Mails, and this integrates really nice with Sales Navigator, and some tools also are Verifilia that it's a triple checking bounce rates from emails that I extract with Sales Navigator. So you don't want to send message to an email address that it's not longer active. So this is a way that I do this. Also, this is, yes, the gift that I had, like Nilo was showing. So yeah.
Yeah, so on this one, we see that the import of the leads is scrapping people who like or comment a LinkedIn post. and
Yeah,
then you
so
can start
this is
enrichment.
also.
You have different ways to segment. You have intent data, and one of the intent could be interaction on your LinkedIn post.
Mhm.
If you guys has question about segmentation and enrichment, don't hesitate before we go on the sequence and campaign step.
And yeah, this is like a step that usually takes a lot of time. So that's why I love LGM, that it's really helping you save like a ton of time doing it with alternative ways. So, and those new tools and the features are just even better. So now we're getting into the campaign setup and how you can have the multi-channel flow architected. For me, I always try to do this with, let's say, um, LinkedIn first. In some cases, I send an email first. This really depends where your clients are more active, and if you would like them to open an email first or first connect on LinkedIn. But the enrichment, if you are using LGM's enrichment, it usually is LinkedIn first, as that's going to help you enrich contacts. But if I have the emails from elsewhere, I can start with emails directly in some cases. But now with the pre-enrichment ready, you can do email as well as a first step. But the logic for me is that usually sometimes I feel people are responding better from LinkedIn first sequences because they can check me out. But if you're going with email first flow, you should definitely have like a 301 redirect on your code email architecture. So this could be a separate domain, so you can preserve your um, original website authority to prevent like blacklist and stuff like that. But even then, we're not going for volume, so this is very safe. And I do only one email connected to LGM, that it's a code domain with a code email from Google Workspace that I have warmed up really nicely for at least 2 weeks before that. And you can also subscribe to newsletters as well as sending emails to warm up a new email from Google Workspace. But this is the cadence. So I go three by three, and there's different schools of thought. But for my specific audience, again, you can do a lot of testing with these things. But if I send three messages, I can pretty much disqualify a lot of people who are not ready to buy in right now or respond. So the idea is that with three messages spread out across 2 weeks, more or less, you can see. So why is this sequence? So there are three reasons. Multi-channel is really great to hit the same people in different places. If they don't respond to LinkedIn, you can say on the email, hey, I sent you a message on LinkedIn, but maybe this is a better way to reach out. And also, you can try being where your ISP is more active. So you're giving them options to reply. And also, the follow up is usually between 3 to 5 days. I don't send emails and messages over the weekend. You can try to experiment with this. I know some people are sending any day of the week, but for me, I've tried to just be respectful, and I don't rush for anywhere. So between the first and the last message, there could be 14 days of difference, but you're pretty much looking for most of your replies will come from the second message. At least that's true for me. And three benefits of this flow is like um, you're reducing the risk of your LinkedIn profile because you're not sending a number of messages only from there. You're only like sending a handful of maybe 10 to 20, maximum 30 messages from your LinkedIn per day, and then you're following up with the same people, and also you get faster replies from a multi-channel way, and you can have at least 8 touch points in the cross of the span of this whole campaign, because having a lot of touch points is really beneficial for keeping people, um, to give them a reason to reply first of all, and to engage them. Sometimes people need consistent um, push before I mean, it's a code. It's also very high touch outreach, but it's a code outreach. So a lot of those touch points really makes a lot of sense. If you have the unlimited pro plan of FGM, you can do even more touch points with like multiple profile visits on LinkedIn. Let's say you can check out what they have posted. You can like a post and things like that. So this is really useful. Also, yes, in some cases, if you have a viral audience, you can extract, let's say, comments. I've seen something. This is a side note, but I've seen a lot of people, let's say, run ads on LinkedIn. If you don't have like a viral post on LinkedIn, you can run ads in some cases, and then from the ads, maybe you get like a handful of engagements, some comments, and you can extract that sponsored post with the LGM, and then you can have a lot of so-called warm leads, or at least warmed up enough that they're not completely cold. So this is a smart way to do it, and depending on your budget. But step six is pretty much now crafting the copy, because you have spent a lot of time enriching, targeting people, finding them, and creating a structured campaign. And now the one thing that is left, it's pretty much you create the copy and send it before you start monitoring. Now, to avoid spam and having the same issue being flagged from LinkedIn or email, you want to use at least three spin tags variables. And the way that this works is I usually include it in the title, the greeting or hey or hi, way to introduce yourself or open an email, and then on the closing where you have link warm regards, best regards, different variations, permutations. But the core message is also, you see the gray is where I use the spin tags, and this is just you have like this window in LGM also. So it's like a brackets and then a vertical slash that separates the different versions of the message that you want to put in the spin tags. And then in the purple, you have the clients variables. So you can also have like variables from your own offer, but this is where I have just created a variable for the client. And this is sometimes a job description because they're a coach, an author, a podcast host, or something like that in my case. And I want to address that. And I'm giving them a reason why I have contacted them and pretty much what I can do. And the simplest ways, there's a lot of ways that I can create like a copy that get messages, but I want to give them a reason without sounding like too salesy, without burning the boats too soon. And I'm just testing the waters, asking them a simple question. So I've tried with longer emails, asking them three questions, sending them a free resource. This also works, or sending them a Loom video. I like Send Spark for some cases stacked with LGM. It's hyper useful. This is a little bit of longer architecture, and it will take you a little bit longer to build a list. But then it works. Let's say if you're selling website development and you want to comment or making some remarks on their landing page or whatever, I assume it's very relevant, and I see a lot of people doing this. So it doesn't make sense for me that much. But yes, you can also do it with Loom videos if you want to do a batch of recording manually and then add it as a variable in a column before you upload the CSV. So this is on the variable side. But before you check my exact copy I used for this campaign, know this: I didn't know much about the coaching business and the space before I say, but you guess um, an opening line. So let's say you want to test a new niche, a new audience. You can try free audits, free strategy calls, and even free coffee chats. Coffee chats could be a lot of waste of time, but you have a booked calendar very fast. So this is sort of approaching the outreach as a market research, and your first campaign will be like a market research, and then the second campaign will be a lot stronger when you know exactly what the pain is. A lot of those customer interviews will give you really meat, so to speak, that you'll use for crafting even better, more powerful sequences. And Yeah, the point is you're just your message and angle depending on how well you know your ideal client persona. Now, if you're approaching people with a very thorough research, there are also things that you cannot automate. Like for example, I've reached out to a unicorn SaaS company, and I really took a lot of time researching, watching their interviews on YouTube, on different podcasts, following their personal profile, their company, their website, to find even let's say personal notes that I like to drink hazelnut espresso like them and run on the weekends to do 5K runs. But this could be useful, but when you're outreaching to multiple people and you want to make a list of those ideal client personas, let's say 100, 200 people list, it's useful to have a common denominator. And this is, as I said, something similar, that it's also a variable in a spreadsheet, but it could be a number of followers on LinkedIn. It could be a different resource that they're using, something that you can validate for your own business and niche. But you can pull a lot of variables from their bio on LinkedIn as well. I've seen people do this, and I've tried some variations. This is very, very helpful in their headline, in their bio, in their experiences from LinkedIn, and then you can have a very high reply rate with
Um,
this.
I'm super curious if someone has already tested the LinkedIn voice. So please, guys, tell us in the chat if you already tested. The one who tested, you can put just 1 or 0 if you never tested it in the chat. It could be nice to know. Even the video prospecting with the SenseSpark integration Alex mentioned is super powerful. So also super interested if you already tried it. uh, don't be shy, let us know in the chat.
Yes, I use different versions of the on voice recording on LinkedIn, typically for replies. I mean for follow-ups. Sorry. So you can duplicate my campaign when you have the link to the Notion from here. It's very easy, so it will be plug and play for you. And yeah, this is how I booked up. So pretty much my flow and success with this whole playbook was I reached out to 100 people list, and I booked one call from 5 replies, and then I closed this call and I have him as a client for 4 months. It's a very straight up process, but it took a lot of iterations, and I didn't nail this from the first campaign. I just want to make sure um, you understand that it takes a lot of tweaking, but you can get there within the first month or two. And now that you have a playbook, this will be even shorter for you. But the follow up and the conversion optimization. Now, once you start getting a lot of replies, you can pretty much start to book a lot of calls, right? So this is not the first message I just wanted to highlight, but some people are sometimes just coming as a reply, they're ready to book a call. So whenever you have the copy and everything above, it's time to launch your campaign. And then over time, again, the idea is as you're watching the analytics to improve your messaging, and you're taking a note of your replies. Now, at the beginning, I was tracking open rates on my emails and things, but this is something that you can exclude because it's preserving your email deliverability without tracking open rates and click-through rates. It only matters if people reply. And if you're having like a good workspace domain that it's clean, it's not like blacklisted, or you have all this DKIM, SPF, and DMARC records, and all the good stuff. Your emails are landing in the primary inbox, and also sending maximum 20, 30 emails per day. So this is something that will almost guarantee that people will read your emails, and you don't need like a fancy um, title, although subject lines matter. But even like the old but gold question for you. It's not that bad, but it's very used and abused. I will definitely experiment with that. But yeah, gift for you, or um, yeah, I have a present or I have problem or gain question mark, it's always something that I get a lot of open rates on. So step 7 is the follow up and conversation. So you have to manage a lot of those replies. So now that you have launched your campaign, you need to, um, assuming you're getting a lot of replies, right? You need to start chatting with those people. And as I said, sometimes they can just reply and be ready to book a call, but most of the times they need to see that you're a human, and you need to follow up maybe with them in a month from now. If they're busy right now, they might reply today, but you need a CRM. So it's nice that also LGM has this pipe traffic integration. I've tried Folk CRM. Well, that was through a Zapier and a third party too. But in any case, it was easier for me to connect even with the leads that I was coming and getting from LGM as a replies. So this is the bridge. So this is a lot of people miss this step from my experience. So when somebody replies from your LGM campaign, it's automatically like a warm lead now. Even though it's coming from Outbound, now it's becoming a warm lead, and you have to put them in the CRM, because those people might become a customer um, tomorrow, best case scenario, but in most cases it will take you a month or 3 months to close them. And it's nice to have a CRM. And there's a lot of CRMs out there. Pipedrive is nice, Folk CRM, uh, Atio is also cool and new. I like that it has a mobile app. And yeah, you can connect those things with a third-party integration like Make, Zapier, something like that with LGM. But yeah, make sure that you have all this. And within LGM, you can have like those reminders as well. But depends how you do things and operate. I prefer to also keep a record in my CRM from the people that I get reply from. And yeah, this is pretty much how um, I have like this sequence. So you can see I didn't even contact a lot of people, but yeah, from 68 people, I got five replies, 7%, which is not that much, but I got one client from that.
That's great, and a huge one.
Yeah.
um, so thank you very much, Alex, for all these tips and advice. It's super insightful. Um, I was wondering about the copy. Do you use GPT or AI to help you creating the copywriting? Do you use maybe the AI magic messages in La Growth Machine, or never using this kind of things to help you write your copywritings?
Yeah, I tried LGMA Magic tool. Sometimes I think it's a little bit longer. It's definitely something that I use for drafting ideas,
Yeah,
and then maybe I can speed up my process. I write a lot of my copies on hand. I do run them by Claude
yeah,
in the end, and then if you want to take it a step further, in some cases, because I have this tendency of making things complicated, I go through Hemingway app and just want to make sure that it's
it's
fifth
yeah,
level grade reading. So people should be getting your message really fast. So you don't need to overcomplicate. And I see a lot of people who are very, let's say, selling tech solutions.
hmm,
They have like this techno language and bubble. So this is like a very, very big um, red flag. So you don't want to alienate people and confuse them by uh, different terminology that they don't understand. So
yeah,
the benefits and the gain should be very simple. If you're having like a context why you're reaching out, so you almost always need to answer the question why you're outreaching to them, without giving them a chance for them to ask you the question, like sort of the Eminem 8 Mile sort of rap battle principle, that it's helping you to disarm their objections before they raise the objection,
yes, right.
because otherwise you're pretty much entering a battle you cannot win, and you don't want to be there. So again, I do this by giving them, let's say, a reason. Hey, I found you on LinkedIn, that you have this podcast, you have an amazing book that honestly I vibe with, and I was just wondering if your newsletter or audience on LinkedIn is migrating, is buying the book, or if there's some connection. And I'm testing in this case, so this works for me. And you can find different bridge. You can try, hey, I noticed you commented. Also, like a good source of leads, if you're in my niche, let's say you don't have like a viral audience on LinkedIn, but you want to tap into someone else's who is a
Mm,
competitor, or let's say adjacent to your niche. So they could be having like 100, 200, 1,000 comments in their posts every day. So you can have like, let's say, folk extractor, um, and comment from Phantom Buster also does this, number of tools now. But then export this and start your outreach from there. That, hey, I noticed you also commented under this guy. So it's sort of like bringing up like a common connection, although um, you still don't know each other, but it's a common thing that you share in mind. And now you might also comment to screen if they have like the problem you're trying to solve. Never assume that they have this problem. That's why I always ask a question, and maybe in the follow-ups that I'm writing, as Elo is asking for the copy, in my follow-ups I'm trying to be sometimes short, but also, so let's say the first email, it's a little bit longer. The second email could be, hey, perhaps you're busy, perhaps you're swamped. It's just like a reply on the thread of the first message. And then the third email is a new thread, or the LinkedIn message is a completely like a voice message that is helping me. Hey, this is the outcome that I'm solving. It could be booking calls, you could be having conversions. um,
mm,
and yeah, I use this voice message in the reply as well.
yeah.
But
I
this is how
really
the
I really
message.
like also, so what you said about LinkedIn post engagement is really interesting, and we do have this the feature too, so you can extract anyone who like or comment any post, yours but also your competitors one, or any creators on LinkedIn. So that's a cool things to know. Also, even on the LinkedIn live event, you can scrap all the registrants to any event. So that's a cool intent. Um, and about copywriting, what I like also to say to people who are facing, I mean, who get not too much reply on LinkedIn DM. I think when when you receive a big message on LinkedIn DM, you know that it's maybe not superhuman. It's automated, and so that's why we built this little chat mode feature. So you have the big text with his which is your text, but every comma is or every space is like um, a full message, and so it splits your big message in three, four, five little message, which is more authentic, because it's mimic the human behavior, right? So yeah, I think for DM on LinkedIn also, you can use the chat mode to even be more authentic.
Yeah, and this chat mode is also giving them a lot of notification, because usually
Yes,
if you send one message that is a wall of text, as you say, it's not very easy to read. It
it's
screams that
one notification. Yeah,
it's one notification, and it just screams like it's a copy pasted or a outreach blast or something. That, yeah. And if you send like three or five with the chat mode with the OGM, it looks like five messages, but it's still one message, but it still looks like you've sent it by hand.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. I think for LinkedIn, combining chat mode for text and LinkedIn voice, it's super powerful to be more human, and like not being super not being seen as automated message. I just drive. I will just drive you guys on the real chat mode feature, just so you can have a visual, because it's easier to understand what I was saying. Like this one, yeah. So see, you have a big text, but one big text is three text here. So yeah, for me, this is one of the biggest um, game changing features on the DM text part. And also, I love what you talked about spin text and spin tag, sorry, and A/B test. I think A/B test is super important. Everything is about iteration, right? So yes, guys, don't hesitate to A/B test all your subject email or DM, or also invite people without note or with a little note. It could be good to A/B test this kind of strategy and copywriting.
Yes, I tested adding people with a note on LinkedIn, and sometimes actually this worked for me. The client that I got from this sequence was something that I sent with a note, but so it's a little bit of a volume and not volume game. So people that you send a note will either be vibing with the note or not, and only a handful of people will accept you. So if you want to get more connections, just send them without a note. But if you want to get more replies, maybe use a note. At least that's a lesson for me.
Yes, exactly. Um, Is anyone has question about strategy of segmentation, sequence copywriting? Maybe I will copy paste again the link of your playbook, and you can copy paste the playbook, the copy paste, yeah, the playbook, but also the campaign. You have an embed of Alex campaign, so like you can just duplicate it in one click. Um, if we don't have any question, I think we're good. Alex, do you need to add anything else? Maybe if
No,
people has question where they can reach out.
yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. This is my LinkedIn. If anybody wants to send me a message, I'm right here. And also, what Elo said, A/B test a lot of things. So if you're not getting replies, it's pretty much about your copy. And let's say if you have nailed the ICP identification, the list building element, so the campaign works, so you don't have to worry about this. But then the last component is to understand that, hey, all these tools and features that LGM has, make sure that people read your messages. If they don't reply, it's pretty much about
Or
you call.
segmentation or copywriting, yes. Yeah,
And
yeah, I think, yeah, sorry.
segmentation is a tough cookie to crack. In some niches, is easier than others, but copy, it's pretty much about giving people a reason to understand why you're reaching out. Having like a common thread, common similarity, could be a friend, something like a similar interest, or a common goal, common pain you have experience solving, and then giving them a simple yes or no. Hey, why should I reply? Giving them an easy reason to reply. And is this a problem? Is this like a yes or no question is easier to reply than if you ask them like open-ended question. This is like a call to action, so to speak, that usually isn't placed at the end of your copy, whether that's LinkedIn or email. But that's what I experimented a lot with.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
useful to have a spreadsheet that's separate, and to have like different columns and to test different versions
Mm.
separate from LGM and all that. But just to have like different campaigns set up in LGM, it is a lot of work, but it's paying very fast.
Yeah, that's true. And with your playbook, it's even easier to implement. Thank you very much, Alex. I just dropped in the chat a link that gave you guys 1 month instead of 14 days to test for free La Growth Machine. It's a cool timing to test the first campaign, I think, because in 1 month you can start to have real results. If you, yeah, if you launch it the first of the month, on you have 30 days to run all your sequence is a lot to have. Even I think the 15 for the 15 first days is a good first experiment, and then you can do your optimization and your A/B tests on the second part of the month. So yeah, don't hesitate to use this link. This is Alex link, special for this webinar and this playbook. And yeah, I think we are good. It was a little shy audience today, but we still had a question from Julie, and Gabrielle was here also to to make sure the link was good for the playbook. Thank you guys, and let's see each other on the next webinar. I did this kind of webinar with experts every week. So yeah, you have the agenda here. If you are interested in, let me just check the if I have it. Um, Here we go. Yes. And here you have the agenda if you want to register to our next session. Thank you very, very much, Alex. To be honest, I was super impressed when I received your Notion. So it was super great to give us 1 hour more to present it live. So thank you very much for these advices and these insights and sharing with us your experiments.
Yeah, thank you, Elo. Happy to share, and
Yes.
yeah, would love to stay in touch.
Yes.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.